going to give you some strange advice, and that is to listen to music less. For many people, listening to music is something you do in the background while you're doing something else, whether that's driving or cooking or whatever it is you're doing. Music is not the primary focus. Um, and when you have a dedicated listening room, as I now do, I've only had it for about 3 years now. It changes the way you consume music. And for me, it's meant that I actually listen to music less than I used to. But when I do, I listen far more intently than I did before. When you have a system that's in the living room, there's all sorts of distractions and other sensory things going on. If you've got a wife, if you've got kids, as I do, those things can all distract you from the music being the main focus, no matter how much you set it up and try to do it. And so having this room and being able to come down here and have all of those things taken away, it really puts the focus on just the music. And for those of you who you don't have the space for a dedicated listening room, or you don't have the money to finish out a room that you'd like to, my only advice would be to take those times when you do have some alone time and try to make listening to music an event. So for instance, you might have a position of your speakers that's out into the room more, that you can't really live with in a day-to-day scenario. But maybe there's a way to mark those, and during those moments when you have the house to yourself, you pull them out to those spots and you put on a piece of music, you turn the lights off, close the blinds, whatever you need to do, and just try to make it an event rather than a background. And I think if you do that, you'll find yourself really getting into things more than you did before. At least that's a benefit of a listening room that no one really talks about. It's not a sonic thing, right? It's just an attention thing. And that was a surprising part of having a listening room that I didn't fully understand until I had one. Back when I first started this, I always had this thought that, dedicated listening rooms, that's for selfish jerks who, don't want to share their music, and, so I was always, the stereo should be in the living room and it should be playing music for everybody. And then I got a wife, and I realized that having a big system playing it loud in the living room is really kind of selfish. My wife wasn't into this. She does like music, but all this equipment and all that stuff, and I'm basically picking music I want to hear, and it's not necessarily always things that she wants to hear. And for those of you who share this hobby with your significant other, that's amazing. And your the way you consume music might be totally different than mine. But what I thought initially was a very what I thought was a inclusive thing turned out to actually be more of a selfish thing. And to have a dedicated room down here means that I can do my thing down here and not disturb everyone else in the house. And it would be very easy to spend hours and hours down here. It'd be pretty simple, and I could do it. But I've made a conscious decision not to spend too much time down here. I don't want to be not present for the family. And so typically, I'm not down here until my daughter goes to bed, and my wife wants to watch the TV, and choose what she wants to watch. Sometimes, she wants to control, the television, and not have to worry about what I want to do. And so I come down here and I put an album on. So, I used to listen to, 5, 6 albums every day, through work and, putting it on in the background, then sitting down at night. But now I find myself listening to maybe one or two, but I get to put them on the turntable or cue them up in Roon, and I get to pay attention to them. I get to play them pretty loud. It would be quite disturbing for other people to have the volumes that I play down here in the living room. Certainly, my daughter wouldn't be able to sleep. So, that's a surprising benefit to a listening room that you don't hear talked about very much. And if you're lucky enough to have one or have the ability to make one, I would recommend that you do it, because I've gotten a lot more enjoyment out of my system, even though it's played less.